this video, I'll show you how to use the new feature custom function using Power Apps and Power Automate, and then utilize those functions within any of your applications, either Power Apps or Power Automate. Just to start with, I'll show you an example. Like I've already created a model-driven app, which lists down the list of all the airlines. Now it has got 9 records, so I'll show you how to use a function and how to reference that. Now I've created a solution over here. So the solution name is Girish custom function. Now here, if you want to create a custom function, you go to new automation and then go to function. Now here you will specify the function name. So let me call it as a G function. Okay. And I will just name it as a table ref. So we're going to reference a table, and you can put the description over here. You pass the input parameter, you get the output result, and then you specify the table reference if you want. Now I'll I don't have any specific input parameter, but I have an output result. So I'll call this as out. So I'll just call it the out. Okay. Now the table reference, I can select as many table as we want, but then in my case, the table name is airline. So I'm just gonna pick up airlines. Now we can perform table level operations over here. Now one of the operation which we can perform is if I want to extract number of rows for this particular specific table, if I want to extract that information, yes, I can go ahead and get this information. There are other things which you can do. You can even extract the record name. Okay, so you can extract the record name using some if conditions, or maybe you can just specify I want to get a random first record of that particular table. So in order to do that, you need to write the formula in such a way that, okay, so you want the two outputs. So one is you want the rows. Okay, so I'll just say row count, and the second output we want is the first record. So the code, how we write the formula, you put a curly braces, you put a closing curly braces, and here you will reference. So what do you want? You want the row count. So the row count is the first parameter, output parameter. Now here, if you want to reference that, you just pass, you can make use of the inbuilt function called as CountRows. So CountRows, and then specify the data source. The data source here in this case is airline. So we have already referenced airline over here, and that's why it has appeared automatically. Similarly, if I want to refer the first item, so the first item, so let's make use of this output parameter first record. So I'll just say first record, and then I'll make use of first function. So first, I give me the first record of uh, the airline table, right? So the airline table, and then what do I want out of it? Okay, now here, if you go inside this record, so let me go into one of the record over here. uh, Let me close this. Here, if I see the logical name, so if I want to get the name of this record, so the logical name is gcop underscore name. So I can get this information. So I'll just copy this gcop underscore name, come over here, and then I'll say dot, and then here you need not even remember the logical name. Okay, so you can directly get this information over here from, if I just type in name. So name corresponds to gcop underscore name. You can even get other parameters. So just for the sake of this example, I'll just say first record name. Okay, and once you are done with it, that's it. So if you see over here, it says there is some error, right? It says the type mismatch between source and target type field. The field name row count expected text found in number. Okay, now you can tweak your parameter accordingly. If you want row count to be a text, then you can convert this over here, or alternatively you can just say, oh, let's make it of type integer, and then this error will disappear. Also, a couple of things to note. Now if you hover the mouse over here, it says the operation on table this Jacob underscore airline may not work if it has more than 1,000 rows. So you need to be aware of this. So if your record set is less than 1,000 rows, you can go ahead and use this function, but then make sure that if you have a longer data set, do not use this approach. Okay, so just a pointer to note before you create this function. All good, click on save, and then this function will be created. Now how do we call this function? We need to make use of Power Automate. So let's go into, say, Power Apps. So let me open the solution over here. So the solution which we have created. So we have already created the solution over here. It has already created this function. Let's go to new automation, cloud flow, and instant cloud flow. So we are gonna execute that particular function. Now I'll just name it as Girish custom function execution. Manually trigger a flow, click on create, and then it will create a Power Automate for you. Now here I'm gonna output this value in the compose. So this is the compose over here, and I'll click on save. Okay, so output will be stored over here. Click on save. So let's add a new step in order to get that output from the function. So there is an action in Microsoft Dataverse called as unbound action. So if you use that unbound action, perform an unbound action, you should be able to see the function listed over here. Now remember the name of the function which we have called as, I believe, G functions or something like that. So let me scroll this over here. Yeah. So if you see, the name of the function is G table expression. Okay. Now let me show you that. So what happens when you create a function? It creates various solution components. Now I've already created the solution over here, so it's named as Girish custom functions. Now here, once we create a function, it has created fx expression, it has created a function, it has created a custom API, it has created a custom API response property. So the parameters which we have created, it has created the corresponding property. It will create a fx expression, it will create a function. So if you want to edit a function, you just go ahead and click on it, and then you will be able to see the function over here. So all good. Let's go and reference that. So the appended value gcop underscore, that's a publisher name, g table expression, and it is, I think the name is, yeah. So let me go into the function again, and it's g function dash table ref. So if the value is not loaded, then what you can do is, like, maybe let me just remove this unbound action, save it, refresh this Power Automate flow so that you get that latest information. So it is called as g function table ref. So the name of the function is g function dash table ref. Now go to your Power Automate. Dataverse unbound action. So g func table ref, and you in the output. So here we are going to put the output. Now the output which we are going to get is, like, if you scroll over here, here you will see the row count and the first record. Now that's the parameter, right, which we have sent, row count and the first record. So let's take that value. So row count. So I'll just call it as row count. And the next one is first record. So it will pick up a random first record, and then it will display the name of that first record. So click on save. And once you save that record, just try testing it. So what we have done, we have created a function. So we have created a function where we are passing two output parameter, row count and first record. Row count should give me the list of the count, which is the number 9, and first record should give me a random number, and then we get the name of the airline. Okay, so let's see what the output we have received. So in the compose, once this flow is run successfully, you should see the compose storing those information. So as you see, the row count is 9 and the first record it has retrieved is Air India. So let's verify it in the app. So as you see over here, it has retrieved one of the records. So one of the record is Air India, so that's good. And second, it has retrieved the rows 9. Right. So this is how you basically use a custom function to reference a table and then operate on the record of that specific table. So in this case, we have operated at a table level. We got the count rows, and also we have tried retrieving the value using the first function. So that's it, folks. This is how you basically use custom function, power effects function, and reference a table component. Thanks for watching.